afternoon. We're calling to order the February 1st, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we move into public comment, are there any, before we move into public comment, are there any election board member comments? Okay, nope. Are there any public comments?
First up is David Crimmins.
Oh.
By the way, I have your what you asked me. Okay, my name is David Crimmins. I'm with Hatfield, live in Hatfield, and thank you so much again. Today, the subject is drop boxes. I want to offer some ideas and then, offer some criticism, I guess, and then a solution. Obviously, the county and the municipality helps, but the first part of any discussion of drop boxes starts with election law. And election law is designed to be, I say pretty much one thing. I won't bore you with the details of it. Election law is about the loser saying, okay, I lost. You follow the election law, it's transparent, you lose, okay, I lost. Okay, so in 2020, the drop boxes for still unknown reasons just came boom, 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 18 of this week down in Montgomery County. And this was after Act 77 had been written. So a lot of people, like not really even me, but a lot of people say, what's going on? You get a mail-in ballot, you go to a mailbox, you go in there and a drop box, unsupervised, a brand new way of doing voting, not in the law. Well, we kind of judge it, would agree with it, okay, that kind of thing. So there was a lot of that going on. It got worse with all the ballot stuffing. Okay, that was manifest. There are too many to go into right now. I do give Monco credit for responding. Well, we can't do that, just leave them out unsupervised. So the next we realized we had to watch, we're going to watch, and we just, oh, it's 8 to 8, not 24/7, thank you. We showed up, there were 2 full-time employees at every drop box, there was a security person next to them, they challenged every voter, how you doing? Is it you? All right. And then they reached down and opened it up, pulled it open, and the voter leaned in, put in the ballot. Anyone who might have chosen a drop box for safety reasons might take that into from COVID or whatever, might take that into account. All right, so they also promised to give us the count every day from every drop box and access to the video, the overnight video. Perfect for us. That's enough. You got this new system in place, you'll be fine. However, I just think they about live their usefulness. I don't know why we have them anymore. So with that in mind, I'd like to recommend you bite the bullet and say, get rid of these things. If you have a divide like this in Montgomery County now, if you did that, it goes like this. Post office off the tracks, stuff much better. So anyway, that's my recommendation. Now, if on the theory that you may not do that, every day 2 people show up in a van, they do the exchange of the ballots. I would like to strongly urge you to think about that and come up with a mechanism, because the way it was last year, which were harassment, intimidation, and all in all unacceptable behavior, as far as I could see, by the county employees. We have a right to see those ballots. And when those guys come in, we can go over and watch, count the ballots, we can immediately compare them to the voters, and we're done. Final conclusion, get rid of the drop boxes is the best option, but if you don't, please. More transparency and goodwill. Okay.
Up next is Vince Sobocinski.
I have a question at this point.
Yeah.
So give it.
So then online we would have Marlene Laska.
Yes, am I up and to speak?
Oh, I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah, am I up to speak?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great. This is a programmatic, Marlene Laska, Upper Providence Township. First off, this is a programmatic comment. I've called the county voter services multiple times. By the way, it is a real hit and miss whether one gets a live person to speak to when calling the 3280 exchange. Anyway, I called yesterday afternoon, Wednesday the 31st, to simply ask when was the next Board of Election meeting. Since the day before, Tuesday, the 30th of January, I had searched both the agenda page and the schedule for for public meetings at the bottom of montgomerycounty.gov, pa.gov, and found no entry. So imagine my surprise to find that there was a Board of Election meeting today, on the 1st of February, and to find out that the meeting announcement was posted at 12:50 p.m., just 10 minutes short of 24 hours notice. Also, when I asked whether there was a schedule of a Board of Election meetings for the whole year, like with the Board of Commissioner meetings, I was told no. Is there a reason why there is no schedule of Board of Election meetings? We recognize all of us are very busy and that things can slip through the cracks. However, our request is to put together at least a preliminary schedule for the Board of Election meetings for the entire year, and then make adjustments as needed. At least that way, people will have something from which to plan. You can even add a subject to change caveat right on the website. At least having some sense of when will be the next Board of Election meeting will help all to plan accordingly. Thank you.
Do we have a schedule? Is there a schedule?
The Board of Election meetings in general are usually held after Board of Commissioners meetings.
Right.
However, we are unable to actually schedule meetings out through the whole year because it's based on the needs surrounding the election. And for example, this meeting today is scheduled based on when tabulation closes.
Right.
And the 5-day waiting period, and then certification comes after that. So it's not known in advance when this meeting will be taking place.
But it was properly advertised in the.
Correct,
paper prior
it was.
to
Yeah, I
today.
mean, we legally, we just have to give 24-hour notice, but if there's if we can't have I mean, we know the election calendar for the year, right? So, I mean, we could probably do a pretty good job of having it, having a schedule layout, but it could be subject to change as well, right?
There are meetings that we could determine in advance,
Yeah.
yes, we can talk about that, yeah.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Yes, one more from Adrian Seltzer, also online.
Found the unmute button. Hello, Adrian Seltzer, Lower Merion. One thing about a response to two of the other commenters, I did find this meeting last week on the website. I will say it is not easy to find stuff on the website. And I also was wondering, is the Board of Elections understaffed? Because I only get voicemail when I call too. So that's one thing. The drop boxes, I don't think the gentleman understands that only one ballot can fit in the drop box at one time, and there is video. So if somebody was there for 10 minutes stuffing ballots, they would know. And so I really don't think having somebody there, which is intimidating, makes any sense. Fix the voicemail drop boxes at the polling. Oh, two of my friends had issues with mailing ballots during the last election. My one friend who had changed her address when she changed her license, got a card saying that she was at the new, got a voter registration card that says that she was at the new address. But her mail-in ballot went to her old address. And so I was wondering if there was anything that could help that. Was that part of the Shore system messing up, which needs to be revamped? My other friend went to vote in the North Penn special election. And this is the post office issue, but she mailed, I was wondering when those ballots went out. Was it enough time because she mailed it on Friday and you guys didn't get it by Tuesday? So I was wondering if those issues could be addressed. Thank you very much. And I thank you for the good work that the Board of Elections does for the vast majority of times.
And, okay, Vince, so Basinski.
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me, my name is Vince Sobosinski. I'm from Whitpain Township. Just a question. This is my first meet attendance at the Board of Elections, and one of my concerns was similar to the caller about gathering information on this, because it was difficult to find out when the meeting was. Now, if I'm understanding your comments correctly, they seem to be infrequent, or maybe they're not schedulable. Is that possible? I mean, to present it that way. So a suggestion. The agenda came out at 12:50 because I was waiting outside figuring there must be an agenda for this meeting. I can't believe a meeting without an agenda. And it appeared on my phone at 12:50. So I'm sure the agenda isn't presented 10 minutes before the meeting starts. So maybe you can put it out 24 hours ahead of time.
It was posted. The agenda was posted yesterday because I checked it. Actually, yeah, it has to be posted 24 hours in advance. And it
Okay.
definitely was.
That's right, because I was going through my phone, I really couldn't find it, and then at 10:01 it popped on my phone. Okay, well, if that's happening, that's good. But I would still say you should really schedule the meetings as much as you can to give people an opportunity to attend, because more people will participate. And that's your goal. You want more citizens to participate in these meetings. You don't want it to be closed, you want it to be open so more people attend. So I would suggest that some way you figure out a way to get these meetings in a format where maybe it's not every month, but it's going to be, you let people know 30 days in advance. We think it's going to be this or that. That'd be a good way to do it. And it would be helpful to people who would like to attend and would like to share their thoughts. So again, that's my comment for today. Thank you.
If I could just make a comment, I think generally we have an opportunity to improve our web property and how residents get information. So we'll take heed to some of the feedback in terms of where information actually sits, and making sure that I don't know exactly where it sits, but making sure it's not buried. But generally, that's something that we all want to accomplish in this new administration, improving the experience. So when you come to get any information, that it's easy to find. So thank you for raising some of your.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you. And that's exactly what I look for, ability to get at this information easier, not just for me, but for others as well. So I think a lot of people, if they don't see it, they just give up. They don't even attempt to pursue it further than a cursory glance at what's available. So I think you want to make that, to your point, make that as visible as possible, as helpful as possible to get people there. So thank you very much.
If I could just clarify one point, the meetings are actually scheduled prior to the day before. But the agenda itself is posted at least 24 hours ahead of time. So the meetings aren't scheduled just one day ahead of time, but we'll for sure look at how it's placed on the website. Make it more visible.
And that is all for public comment.
Okay. I think we'll move on to an approval of the minute from the last meeting, which is before each of the commissioners. I'll make a motion to approve the January 23rd, 2024 minutes of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Winder. Is there any board comment? All in favor?
Right.
Okay, the motion passes, the minutes are approved. So moving on to the certification of the election results for the 2024 North Penn special election. I'll welcome our Director of Elections, Frank Dean.
Morning, election board.
Morning.
No,
Good afternoon, actually, you're right.
The Pennsylvania Election Code requires counties to certify the election results by the third Monday following the election. Prior to the certification, we close our canvass and tabulation results and rest for a 5-day waiting period where recount petitions may be filed. We closed last week on January 24th, and the board completed the first signing. We are at the end of the 5-day period and no recount petitions have been filed. At this time, I'm asking the board to certify the election results for the January 16th, 2024 North Penn special election.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to certify the results of the January 16th, 2024 North Penn special election as described by our Director of Elections. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner DeBello. Is there any board comment? All in favor? Aye.
Right.
The motion passes. The election is certified. Thank you.
What was the answer? 75 votes make a difference?
Happy to close that. So that was the one agenda item on our election board meeting today. I will just provide some comments in response to what was raised. One to Ms. Seltzer. If you have any specific issues as the ones you raised related to specific voters, just email us and we'll look into it in terms of whether the voter received their absentee in the same in the place that they should. There's a chance they might have signed a form that signed them up for a year, and maybe that's why they got it at the wrong address.
If they had their primary ballot mailed to a different address than their general ballot, this system automatically queues it up into the same address.
Yeah.
Shortcoming of the short system that it's all reference. We are anxiously awaiting an updated short system, but we always want to remind voters to check and double check.
Mhm.
So things like that, so that their ballots get there on time the first time.
Got it. And one comment, just because some people made comments on the busyness of the phones and whether they reach voicemail, we can look into, whether there needs to be more support and staffing there. I will say coincidentally, I got a text message yesterday at 9 a.m. from State Senator Capoletti, who said she called voter services and she spoke to Leanne, who was lovely and very helpful. So we get many different comments from folks like that as well. And, if there's more support you need, please let us know. Absolutely. Okay. Any other comments?
I just want to thank you and your team for pulling off an election at the very beginning of the year. I know that behind the scenes, you all did a lot of work to pull off this special election. So thanks to you and your team.
Thank you. I can take almost no credit. I have a terrific team downstairs. Leanne, you mentioned, as well as our warehouse supervisor, Jonathan Camacho, and Kim Henderson, all trekked out in SO to help us complete the tabulation requirement. We have a truly dedicated team here, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. Any comments?
I just want to thank your team too, because I started to go down and, I want to see the process, and I had the opportunity to see the front, I'll call it the front part of the process of, getting the mail and ballots and setting them through the, whatever they call it, Big Bertha machine. What is it?
Blue press.
Yeah, that was good stuff. Yeah, that's right. So I was doing some Big Bertha driver. But no, I mean, they were really, really great. Take the time to, explain step by step. So I got all the way through and up to the point where, with the ballots being scanned. And so I look forward to picking it up from there and not following the process, further. So it's great. I mean, they're very, very accommodating and wonderful to work with. I do think that at some point I'd like for us to have a conversation around drop boxes. I know that we see roughly 18%, 20% of the ballots come back through drop boxes. So it's something that I want to look at it from an expense standpoint. And I believe where we have 12 now in the county.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd like to at future meetings do analysis on those 12 and see, do we really need the 12 moving forward? Maybe we still want to keep some of the more rural area that may not have direct access to post office. I mean, this is all conversation that goes through my head because they come with an expense, and I'm just not sure if 18% of the mail-in ballots or absentee ballots, whatever you want to call them, coming through that is there's value add there. So that's just something I look forward to talking in the future about.
Of course, look forward to it as well.
Thank you.
All right, I'll have more to say on Dropboxes at the future meeting, next meeting. I vote by Dropbox. I think it's very convenient and secure because you don't have to worry about the postal service and any hiccups that can happen. So, you know, we definitely will have that conversation going into the primary and the general as well. But any other comments? No. All right, so with that, I will motion to adjourn the February 1st, 2024 meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any board comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.